try to do it solo, do what the go and do it lost. Yeah, I do it with you. When I lose it, doors poor Richard.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is February 6th, 2021. This is episode number 20 of the moebanterpodcast. I am Mo.
I'm Nathan.
Hola, Nathan.
Hello.
I was going to look up a different word in a different language, and I just completely forgot. I think I was going to hit you with some Italian today, but I didn't even get it. So, episode 19 is still not uploaded as of 2 weeks later. And we'll talk about the reason why. So, most likely, I'll try to upload episode 19 and episode 20. So, there's, what do they call that?
Double feature.
No, continuity.
Yeah.
Yes, continuity between the episodes. But yeah, I guess as we always start. So that was Lost in My Cup. It's my cousin's, your Uncle Howie's first single from his single Lost in My Cup by Howard's, aka Howard Rodello. You can find him on let me take away the full screen. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on Spotify. You can find him on YouTube Music, which used to be Google Play. You can find him on Amazon Music and other areas as well. As always, I will always put that down in the description down below. We're going to have some art in the back from my friend Brissia Jiménez. You can follow her on Twitter at bdoodles. Her creations are Lil'zzz. That's Lil_ZZZS. If you try to look for them on Twitter and just pretty much every other platform that she supported, I believe it's spelled that same way. So there's Lil'zzz on Twitter at Lil'zzz. Lil'zzz on the Threadless page at Lil'zzz. Lil'zzz on Instagram at Lil'zzz. And again, it's Lil_ZZZS. Or you can also find him on Redbubble. And then, even though he hasn't really said anything because he's a punk, my nephew started his own company with a bunch of his homies and a bunch of friends during the pandemic last year. At the end of last year, they launched it in December. WorldZ.co. WorldZ/co-co.shop is their website. You can peek out their merch right now. From what we've heard is they have new merch coming, but currently it's simple. It's all black shirts, black caps, black bucket hat, black hoodie. You can also find them on Twitter at WorldZ_co. That's WORLDZ_co. CO. You can also find them at the same posting at WorldZ_co on Instagram as well. So cool. Was it this one I want to put in the back? The GO.A.T. And there's a reason why I want to go with the GO.A.T. But we can't see it because my big head's in the way if you're on the YouTube. Darn it. Can I zoom in on this?
Probably.
And if I do this?
It doesn't make a difference.
It really does not make a difference. Well, that's kind of lame. So we got to figure this out.
I think we could just take the us away for now.
Can we?
Yeah.
Maybe, right? Because it's just YouTube. Who the hell cares about our face? That's this here, right?
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's better. That's better to look at because really, who cares about YouTube? We're doing this for the podcast. It's all audio. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm not sponsored. I don't have monetary value. Nobody wants to see my face anyway, so I'm good. All right, cool. So I guess we still haven't watched any super tournaments. GSL, not a sponsor. Still not a sponsor. But I'm gonna put this out into the universe because you never know. We do need a new green screen. You know, we got beds. Your bed got substantially bigger. I'll probably talk about that at the end. And space is quite small now. So now we have to figure out the angles and we have to figure out what we do. But the green screen is not bad, but the frame itself is pretty trash. And I bought it because we needed something when we first started to do this. And that was, I guess, the cheapest option at that point. But Elgato has screens that are self-contained, pull out. We can get 2 of those Elgato. We will put you on the podcast. We will name you as a sponsor. If we can get a discount, we'll give you like 5 episodes, depending on how big the discount is. Yeah. I don't mind paying for stuff. I know, we ain't nothing right now, and if we were, it'd be a different game. But if you can throw us a coupon here and there, we'll put you up there for a couple episodes depending on how big that discount is. Elgato, Elgato has, from what I heard, the best self-contained green screens for streaming and other purposes, which for us would probably help us with this limitation in space. So that would be great. And also we're trying to switch up the camera. So if anybody wants to be a camera sponsor, I'm looking at Avery Media with I believe it's the WM953, which is their newest one. I hope I got that correct, but it's like the newest webcam that they got going. If you guys, want to hook it up and give that to us for free, we'll make you a sponsor. Like for however many episodes you want us to, maybe not all of them, but we can give you a good 20 for a free camera. I know that we've been off and on, but I think we can muster 20 episodes.
Yeah.
But if anybody else, Canon, Panasonic, Sony, if you guys want to give us a DSLR, you want to hook us up, I'm just saying, I'm gonna put this out into the universe because you don't know until you ask. The worst they can say is no. So, I would love for that to happen. Because we're like everybody else, we're just kind of trying to do something with the limited space and money that we have. So I'm gonna throw that out there. And if anybody else wants to give us some cool stuff, shirts, whatever, we'll make you a sponsor for a couple episodes. You know what I'm saying? I'm all down for sponsorships, man. And also because I lost like a lot of weight, so all the shirts that I bought or got for free don't fit me anymore. And I need a new wardrobe, and I'd rather not pay for it because I don't care really how I present myself. But apparently, I need new shirts, so. We'll leave it at that. So where do we want to start? Want to start with last week's games?
Sure.
All right, cool. Let's bring up the spreadsheet. Again, this is just for the used tubes.
Oh, why did we bring up the GOAT?
Because we're going to be talking about the GOAT.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to be talking about the GOAT. I don't care what anybody says. That man is the GOAT. Who are we talking about? You guys already know who I'm talking about. There's no way you guys don't know who I'm talking about, man. It's the GOAT.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. That's the GOAT you make beady out of. I'm just saying, man. That's the GOAT you make beady out of right there. I feel bad, but what's the stupid thing here? Is it Control Shift Plus?
No, it's Control Plus, but you got to click on that white bar at the top.
Oh my god, I hate this.
Right. Yeah, there we go. Or you could use the rollerball.
Okay, I think that should be good enough. I can probably go one more. Oh my god. Control Plus.
All right.
Control. You know what? That's probably perfect right there. And then we'll pop that out.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then just want to see what that looks like. Forget it. It has to look good. And then so last week was I forgot to put them on here. Darn it. I'll do it later.
Yeah.
I'll do it later. We can just move them down so we know that they won and then I should have set this all up. I am completely sorry. The podcast is losing 0 listeners because nobody listens anyways. And then we'll do this and we'll do this. And then we'll just erase the scores.
Yep. All right, we're in business.
All right, we're in business for the most part. But I'll set this up to make it, I guess, as clean as I can make it. And then, okay, so going into last week. Okay, cool. That looks fine. I just hope that it. There we go.
All right.
So going into last week, we see that the Chiefs won and the Bucks won. So they will be the teams competing tomorrow for the Super Bowl. Do you want to go first on impressions or should I go first? And I still don't know who I'm picking. Yeah. This is going to be like a real-time, brain-straining pick in my part.
Not for me. Honestly, not for me.
All right. So I mean, and we have this competition going. So technically, with all the, because I lost this weekend. Like I didn't even pick. I didn't get nothing. Like I literally, the only reason why I'm even as close as I am is because for the most part they were pretty high scoring games. Like there was points being scored.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs got me 6 and the Packers got me 5, which honestly is probably like picking the correct game and getting that being the only points. So that's what kind of kept me in it. But at current status, you are up 119 to 100, so you're up by 19. You've made a nice run the last 2 games. So congrats on those picks. Those are some nice picks.
Thank you.
So do you want to go first on last week's games, or should I go first?
I'm gonna say that Packers Bucks was way better than Bucks Saints. I feel like there was more action.
All right. So since you said that, the reason why I didn't upload last week's or 2 weeks ago's podcast is because I was excited for these games. We were talking about them. We made our picks, and talked about Rodgers and talked about Brady and what kind of it meant in a sense of like the greatest of all time. And he's the GOAT. I mean, if you guys are arguing that fact, I don't know what sport you guys have been watching for the last 20 plus years, or about 20 years.
About 20 years.
No single player has done what Brady has done. And in the history of being a quarterback, in the history of being a player, nobody has done that. I don't care what you say. Deflategate was trash. All that cheating, everybody does it. They're just the dumb ones that were arrogant enough and probably ignorant enough to get caught because they just figure they can do whatever they want. And that's, to me, that's more of a Belichick thing than it is a Brady thing. But this year proved that while I think Bill Belichick is probably one of the greatest coaches ever because of what he was able to accomplish, the only reason why any of that worked was Brady. I mean, the facts are there. I don't care. Like, you can't tell me that a low 30s Cam Newton coming off an injury can't even get this team to 8-8 or at least sniffing a playoff berth. While Tom Brady had to leave not only the environment in which he plays football, which could take some acclimation to get to, because you're talking about the Northeast compared to the Southeast, where it's humid, it's musty.
And you're in Florida.
And you're in Florida, which is, kind of like the Australia of the United States.
Except not everything's trying to kill you.
Well, they have anacondas there, so I don't know. Go meet up in an anaconda and see what they tell you.
Oh, yeah.
They have condas and gators that like literally come to people's pools. So, like I said, it's the Australia. And I believe they even have a population of brown recluses there.
Oh, man.
So, and plus it's Florida. Like if the animals aren't going to kill you, some other people might. Some of the stories are crazy. Nothing against Florida. Like I plan on visiting Florida, but I mean, the stories that come out of there are kind of nuts. But anyways, Tom Brady's the GOAT. Like there's no denying it. He went to a different team, different coach, different everything, different style of players, and he's 43 years old, and he's in his 9th Super Bowl, I believe. 10th. Oh my gosh!
Because he won 6, lost 1 against the Eagles, 2 against the Giants.
Okay, so
then
come on, man, tell me who's done that. Like, this is gonna get brought up. Oh, LeBron. Okay, yeah, LeBron went to a bunch of them back to back, and I understand that, and I get that. I am not going to lie. I don't like LeBron at all, but he is a very talented player. I believe in the terms of basketball, if LeBron can win one more, doesn't matter where he wins it. If he can win one more, I will consider him in the running to be the GOAT of basketball, because he will most likely finish with the most points. He won't finish with the most championships, but he'll finish with the most appearances. And this is kind of a similar instance where he won a bunch. Well, he won 2 in Miami. They went to the finals so many times. They've seen the playoffs so many times. He visited the finals back-to-back as a Cavalier, won 1 in Cleveland, came to LA. His first year was kind of whack. He was injured, whatever. He got some help, which at this point in the NBA, that's part of the game. So I'm not going to fault him for that anymore. That's just part of it. And he won 1. So right now he has 4. If he can win 5 and win them across 3 different teams, it's the same type of scenario where you have to deal with different coachings, different attitudes, different whatever, and that's difficult. Jordan didn't have to deal with that. For the most part, Jordan always had constants at his side to win the 6 that they won. He always had Scottie Pippen. He always had Phil Jackson. Steve Kerr was there for a bunch of the stretches. Luke Longley, Bill Cartwright, like whatever the case may be. But LeBron has moved around and won. Brady has gone to the playoffs pretty much every year that he's been in the league, except for the year that he got injured. So if you take that injury year out and you call it void, or you just don't count it because he really couldn't play towards it, he's been to the playoffs every single season he's been healthy. That is ridiculous. And he's been to 10 Super Bowls? It's hard enough to get to 2 Super Bowls. Some people play a whole career and never sniff a playoff berth and never even sniff a Super Bowl. Barry Sanders being, one of those examples for me, where he spent his whole career in Detroit. I think he played in 1 or 2 playoff games, and that team never came close to a Super Bowl. And to me, that man was one of the best running backs ever. And when he retired early. He had at least 4 or 5 more years of juice in him. And he still ranks, I think, top 5 in total yardage. So to me, Barry Sanders is that type of person that just unfortunately didn't do that. Brady's not that. Brady. So I think his percentage is even higher, or it might be 50% at this point. So he's visited the Super Bowl half the time that he's been playing. The dude's an alien. He's 43. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't care what anybody says, man. That he is one of a kind. You will never see that again unless the person he challenges this Sunday can take that away. But we don't know that yet. That's going to be another 15 years in the making.
And that person is what I consider to be the best rising star in the NFL right now.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, hands down. The best. Hands down. Nobody comes close to him. Nobody comes close to that. Nobody.
Not Josh Allen.
Nobody.
Yeah.
There's no comparison. There's no comparison. Right now, if you had to look at everybody, it'd be Brady is the top of the mountain, and he will remain there for a long time. And then you have those guys that are good right underneath him that could have, but at this point in their careers, I doubt they ever will. But they had the potential. They're very, very solid. I would throw Russell Westbrook in there.
What?
I would throw Aaron Rodgers in there. Not Russell Westbrook, sorry. Russell Wilson. Russell Westbrook is a point guard for, I think, the Wizards at this point. My bad. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers.
Not Drew Brees anymore. He's
retiring, but I mean, you can put Drew Brees in there, and just in terms of play, he has a championship, so you can put him in there. He's going to retire. I think those would probably be the top 3. To be honest, if I had to look at it, I think those would be the 3 that are underneath. That would be those people that you go, okay, these are the people that you have to beat stat wise and championship wise or whatever to even be in the talkings of that. And then you have your rising stars with Mahomes being
untouched.
Mahomes being untouched. If you had to take a risk on a quarterback from college, you would want that person to be Patrick Mahomes every single time. And they saw this in him because the Chiefs moved up in the draft to actually get him. And that seems like the smartest move in football right now. This man has, I gotta call him a man. This man has played, 3 seasons?
Mm-hmm. And he already has a Super Bowl.
He has a Super Bowl, and he's in his second, and it's a back-to-back year. The only other person that I believe has done that this young in their career was Brady. So, the comparisons are there.
And then below him, you have, Josh Allen,
Lamar Jackson.
Deshaun Watson with the right team.
Joe
Burrow with the right team.
Kyler Murray.
Oh.
Joe Burrow, I personally like a lot, but feel that due to injury, we just don't know yet. Yeah. Because Joe Burrow is kind of in that same class with me, like Jimmy Garoppolo, where when they're on the field and they're healthy, you can see the talent, but they can't stay on the field. And I know for Joe Burrow, it's unfair to say that to him because his situation. I mean, he went to the Bengals. I mean, that's a messed up situation
Yeah.
for anybody, really. Even if you're a veteran, you're going to the Bengals where they just didn't care about having an O-line until like later in the season after Joe Burrows got hurt. Like, oh, maybe we need an O-line. But yeah, those type of people or those type of players are in that cusp of rising up, and they can be. So, but anyways, Brady's the GOAT. And this game was exciting. Coming back to the original statement that got me on this rant. So that game, the Bucks-Packers game, I will agree with you, was the most exciting out of both of them. But the way that game ended, oh my God. It left such a bad taste in my mouth. Like, I just did not, I didn't have the energy to kind of do it. Like, knowing that, like, our last podcast was mostly about football, I legit did not have the energy to kind of, like, upload it because...
Ref ball at its finest.
Oh, my gosh, man. So you want to talk about... I don't know if you want to talk about corruption. I don't know if you want to talk about fixing games. I don't know how we state this. But throughout the whole game, not a single PI, not a single use of hands, not a single hold on either defense or offensive when it comes to receivers. On literally the most crucial, most pivotal play in the game, they throw a late flag, not even a flag, a late flag for PI against the Packers when they were on 3rd and long. And it looks like they got the stop. And honestly, that stop looked like 50 other stops that had been going. Yeah, there was some holding. Yeah, there was some jersey pulling. Yeah, there was some hip holding. That had been going on all game. I ranted about it for the first quarter because I kept seeing it. They didn't call it. I ranted about it for the first half because I kept seeing it. I was like, all right, you know what? They're not going to call it. Fine. As long as they don't call it on both ends, I'm cool with this. On the most pivotal, most crucial play of the game, they call it. And that was pretty much GG. And that left such a bad taste. Like, literally the NFL refs messed up what could have been I don't know, maybe like an all-time classics. Like, literally maybe top 10 games to ever be played in the playoffs. That's how good this game was to me. And they ruined it. Because that's so anticlimactic to have a game finish that way. That's like watching a movie and then there's like this whole build up to this whole big thing, and then the ending just kind of comes and you're like, wait, that's it?
Like the end of Frozen for you?
Oh, God, that movie is so overrated. No, I mean, we seen Endgame, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, like Endgame was a 2-part thing. You know, there was Infinity War and then there was Endgame. Yeah. So imagine, you sit through, what is that, like 5.5 hours of movie, 6 hours of movie?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess imagine like there's this whole large build-up, and then, you know, like that last battle scene where like Iron Man gets like the jewels and he snaps or whatever. So just imagine that, like, it's this whole large build-up, it's all this big thing, and then there's no last battle scene. It's just everything else, but no last battle scene. You just take that last battle out of the equation, and then they capture him. Like, they capture him like before everything started. They get him, they hook him, and then they get the jewels and they get the gloves, and that's it. Oh, look, we won. That's what this was. Like, literally, there was like they negated the entire battle scene with that one call. And it just changed the whole dynamic and perception for me personally about that game. The refs on that were absolute trash, and they should never officiate another playoff game ever again. Yeah. Because that was such trash ass officiating. So that's the reason why it kind of bothers me towards that game. But it was the most exciting game up until that point.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end, I wanted Rodgers to kind of get his chance, and it might have worked out for the best because off of that game, it seems like Aaron Rodgers is not happy being at Green Bay. And now there's loose rumors that there's a possibility he might come to the Niners. I would love to see that. But I mean, the rumors are not just subject to him, from what I've heard. What's what's his face? Kirk Cousins was in the talkings because he has history with Shanahan from Washington.
That would be good.
Yeah, I don't want
Speaking
Kirk
of the
Cousins
Niners, Robert Saleh now has a new location.
That's right. Congratulations to Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
The defensive coordinator who, honestly, that man has been nothing but energy for that defense since pretty much day one. I've had a good vibe about him, just the way that he approached the game, his excitement, everything else. He is now the new head coach of the New York Jets. Treat him right, Jets, because, I mean, that man is...
Please don't ruin him.
Don't go from the dumpster fire organization that you are and stay that way. Let this man run his show. Don't interfere. If he fails, let him fail on his own 2 feet and his experience. Don't make it that you guys are sabotaging him, because honestly, I would have loved for this man to just be there for as long as possible. I honestly would probably fire Shanahan and gave him the head coaching job. But that's just me. I'm not a big fan of Shanahan's scheme. I'm not a big fan of his.
He learned nothing from his time with Atlanta.
And that's my biggest gripe with him. I don't know him. I don't know the approach. And again, this is just armchair coaching, armchair perspective. I feel like he does the same thing over and over again, and he doesn't adjust. Jimmy Garoppolo's career has suffered because of it. I believe any quarterback that comes in has suffered because of it. And at the end, the team suffers from it because he just does the same thing. He is a very analytical coach, and I don't like analytics being brought into coaching during a game, because the game moves so fast, so quickly, that if you go in with already a game plan set in mind, you're going to lose every single time, because you're already predicting how the game is going to play out. And if it doesn't play out that way, most people, including Shanahan, don't have an adjustment. They don't have a secondary plan. And you see it when the Niners fall behind. That's pretty much GG. If they're not ahead, that's pretty much game over. They're not gonna come back.
Yeah.
Now with this style of coaching, and then you compare that to, like, say, the Chiefs. The Chiefs are dynamic. They do crazy stuff all the time. Like, you really don't know with that team. So if you try to go analytical with that,
you can't.
You can't.
You really can't.
You really can't. And that's a segue to the Chiefs Bill games, and that's where the Bills let me down.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that the Chiefs had crossed a threshold, and I thought they were going to be able to go against the Chiefs. But no, what happened is analytics got in the way. Straight analytics got in the way. They didn't blitz the man. Like, I even told you when we did the last podcast that Mahomes was hurt. Yes, I understand. He's an animal. He's a beast. He's the up-and-coming, possibly, heir apparent to Brady. But he was hurt. There's no way he was 100%. He was probably like 80%. And I understand 80% of Mahomes is better than
a lot of the quarterbacks.
At 100%.
Like,
period.
all of them except for Brady.
Pretty much. Like, yeah, I mean, facts. I mean, the 80% right now, Mahomes has proven that he is pretty much better than the rest of the NFL except for Brady. And then even at that, it's not fair because Brady is 20 years older than him. But there was no early blitzing. There was none of this. Like, they were scared of what Mahomes may do if they blitz him. He did it anyways. Mahomes did Mahomes. So when you don't try to take advantage of the 20% that's lacking there, I would have been blitzing this man the whole first half. I would have been blitzing him. I don't care. Score 21 on me, because he's going to score 21 on me anyways. What did he score? Like 21, 24 in the end of the first half or whatever?
21 in the second quarter. Because going into the second, the Bills were 9-0.
So yeah, so that's the thing. Is like, man, you have to put pressure on this man. You make him have to squeeze every inch of that 80%, because mentally he's 100% there, but physically with the coming off a concussion, there's no possible way. You got to crack this man. You blitz him, and even if you don't like mess up his passing or whatever, you have to hit him. This is a game where physicality is one of the most dominant forces ever. There's no kind of edging your way around it. None of that. You crack this man. Like, you have to hit him. You have to put pressure on him. You have to hit him. And the Bills didn't. The Bills rushed, maybe brought in a blitz every once in a while. They tried to disguise their schemes and their zones, and it was all analytical. If you would have just bull rushed this dude, you don't know. And they were so scared about what this man could do because all other teams, it doesn't matter, man. Stop going with that whole thing of like computerizing your coaching. Go with the gut feeling. In my opinion, honestly, if you cannot trust your gut as an NFL coach, you don't deserve to be coaching. If you're counting on readouts and printout information and information that somebody inputs into a computer and then gives you paper saying these are the best possible chances for us to win, you don't deserve to be coaching. None at all. You don't. That can help you coach. That is a tool that should not be used to design the way that you coach. That is a trash way to coach. That is really a trash way to really go into any industry. Because if that was the case, me and you wouldn't be doing episode 10 together of the podcast because analytics said nobody cares about what we have to say, but I don't care. I feel that if we do this long enough, maybe at some point we will get a genuine listener, and that's how you build up.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm still thinking about investing more into this project because I feel that way. But analytics are not on our side. We've had 20 episodes and we've probably had 22 listens, 10 of which are probably mine because I like to listen to our podcast to see like how to better improve, like where we messed up. And I know that sometimes we kind of go on a tangent or whatever the case may be, but that's just a makeup of the show in general. But if we went by the analytics, we would have stopped at episode 12, episode whatever, because analytics are against us. But nah, you have to go along and not necessarily hope for the best, but know that you put in the work, you put in the grind. Eventually, you're going to get better than the person you're coaching against or going up against or whatever the case may be. I see other podcasts. I hear other podcasts. My favorite one being Tony Kornheiser's show. If this could be something like that in the future, I'd love it. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that people like Joe Rogan's podcast. I mean, I'm okay with it. It's like whatever to me. Nothing against Joe Rogan or anybody who's on that show. It's just not really my cup of tea for the most part. You know, and then, you know, like I haven't listened to it in a while, but like No Frills was another one with Yipes and Chris Matrix. And that to me was also cool. You know, like they brought in old players, interviewed them, talked about themselves, and like laugh and stuff like that. And to me, like those are all good stuff. You know, but the analytics were always more with them because they already had a following before they did the podcast. We have to start from scratch. I have no problem with that. But again, analytics not on our side. And I think the Bills try to do that against Mahomes. Yeah. Mahomes is the XYZ variable of every fucking math problem that has ever existed. If you try to plan a way to stop this man with fancy footwork and fancy spine and fancy whatever, he's going to smoke you every single time because this man is that good. So sometimes what you need to do is just say, you know what, we're just going to erase the variables and you got to try to test his resolve. He's young. I'm not saying that he's going to feel pressure right away, but I don't care how big you are. Don't care how talented you are. Nobody likes getting hit. Nobody likes getting hit. If you can crack Mahomes a couple of times and let him remember, you know, you might be able to throw off his throwing motion, just soreness, you know, throughout the whole game. Soreness starts kicking in after halftime, whatever the case may be. So the Bills let me down in this game. I had them winning by 6, and it looked good in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes did Mahomes, and what can I say, man? I'm not mad. I'm really not, because I mean they're not the Niners or anything like that. So I'm not mad, and I'm not a gambler, so I didn't put no money in it. But I just that game just kind of got lame after like the second quarter, just because the Bills stopped. I don't know. In my opinion, they played scared. They play scared, and then when you play scared like that on defense, your offense is up against it, and Josh Allen really had no. He had no chance. He had no chance, man. That offense, and the thing is, like, the offense was able to kind of move the ball, but if the defense had played a little bit tighter, had played a little bit more aggressive, maybe there would have been a chance. But with the way everything turned out, Josh Allen really had no chance. He's not that quarterback that's gonna get you 40 points. He's not. He's a guy that can get you maybe 3 touchdowns a game. You know, he can put you in position to get a couple field goals, and that's exactly what happened. 2 touchdowns, 4 field goals, because he put you in position. But you know, and normally 24 points with a game like that, maybe it wins. But when the defense is lackluster and not playing, and it's not really the defensive guy's fault because they can only run the plays that they're being called by the coaching staff, and the coaching staff plays scared. So, I mean, that's my take on both games. But at the end, we have the GOAT against possibly the the heir apparent to the GOAT, super GOAT. We'll see how that goes. And I guess there'll always be the debate because I honestly, even with Mahomes, I don't think what we're seeing with Tom Brady in terms of visits to the Super Bowl and playoff runs, I think he will be unmatched throughout history. That is such a hard thing to do. Such a hard thing to do. At some point, the Chiefs are going to have a team that just doesn't have the weapons that Mahomes needs, doesn't have a line, or they might just, what might happen is he might be healthy, but what if the rest of the team is injured? We saw kind of a little bit of that with San Francisco. That was still a Super Bowl contending team coming into the season, but 3 running backs got injured before Week 8. The entire O-line was kind of injured. The entire D-line was injured at some point. The entire linebacker staff was hurt at some point. The secondary was hurt at some point. The receivers were hurt. Like, that team just had a rotation of just injuries, and even then, they still finished pretty good. 7-9. They still finished pretty well with all the injuries. So I can see something similar happening to the Chiefs. And I think that's what separates Belichick from everybody else, is that Belichick always put together a team, but always had that catalyst in Brady, that even with players that you would think are not as good or not as great, because they never really had the fastest receivers and never really had the best really anything except for like maybe a tight end for like a season or two. But other than that, it's just been Belichick and Brady just masterminding how to get there, and I don't think there will ever be a combination like that. Andy Reid is there for a little bit longer, and maybe for the next 10 years we'll see kind of a Brady-esque run. But what's going to happen for the second 10 years? Once Mahomes reaches his 30s, once, maybe Reid doesn't want to do this anymore because he is an older man, will the next guy that follows in his footsteps be as good? We don't know, and that's what we don't know right now. But, if we just kept going on how everything started, it appears that Mahomes is the heir apparent, but I still don't think anybody will match what Brady has done in the grand scheme of things. So, that's my recap and long rants of...
It's been
of last week's games.
36. Okay.
Is there anything you want to say about last week's games?
Nope.
Okay, so I guess you can start because you said you actually have a thing. So
this will honestly it'll be a close game, but there's no contest here. Chiefs take it.
Ooh, man, you said Chiefs. Okay.
I don't think I've ever heard you hit that octave.
Oh, man, I got plenty of octaves. I don't know how to sing, but I know how to octavate. What is your final score for?
I'm going to say... Is that 42?
Wow, you have a high scoring game.
This will be an offensive game. 42 to 32. 10 points.
10 points. Wow. I don't disagree with you that it will be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, but
do you have reasons for this?
Just one. Tyreek Hill. No one on the Bucs defensive staff can touch that guy.
He is fast. That dude is fast. Every time he gets the ball, it's like, hey, he's literally like Dash from The Incredibles. Slow down, son, slow down. Like that dude is fast. He is quick, man. Like, against the Bills, they gave him the ball, and it was like 15 yards later, he has a first down. I was like, what the hell? He barely touched the ball. I can't see that.
Tyreek Hill, and also there's literally no planning for what Patrick Mahomes can do. He does have an injury. He has a toe injury, which I saw on ESPN. He has a toe injury. But
that could be fake too, though.
But Mike Evans did not practice.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a big player in the Bucs for the Bucs. Without him, even with him, there's no one that can touch Tyreek Hill.
But that's on the same side of the ball. So, like, let's just say Mike Evans did not practice, and let's say he's 60%, 70%. Do you know if AB's playing?
He's most likely done. He's most likely out for the game.
What happened with him?
Let me check.
Because I'm saying, like, if you have Mike Evans at whatever, like, if you have him on the field, you have to take him into account. Because even if he can't speed run you or if he can't do it, he can still catch the ball, which means you still have to take him into account. You put AB in there. That's another person that's just kind of a monster guy that's kind of bigger than everybody on the field. You have Gronk on the tight end. You have Fournette running the ball, and he's
yeah.
still
He's
playing.
still
He's
good.
still playing really well.
Yeah.
And that O line is not trash. That O line is not as good, I think, as the O lines that Brady is accustomed to in New England. But that O line is not trash.
Yeah. So yeah, I have it from CBS. It says does not participate. Oh no, Antonio Brown's gonna be in, but
Okay.
it's most likely that Ndamukong Suh will not. Not injury related. I don't know what happened to him, but it says he did not participate.
Okay. So I mean, going with that,
And-
it's
wait.
still possibilities there.
And on the Chiefs side of the ball, really the only
Wasn't their O line injured? Like, don't they
Yeah,
have like
but-
4 other starters that are not playing this game or something like that?
it says here the only O lineman is out is tackle Eric Fisher.
Okay. And who the questionable ones and probable ones? They don't have no other O lines on that list.
Mike Remmers is listed under full participant. Andrew Wiley is under full participant. That's it. The only questionable one is wide receiver Sammy Watkins.
He's not a big weapon for them, but that's still a weapon.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay. So
Chiefs are going back to back.
damn. See, I debate because I bet against Mahomes in the last game. And it's not necessarily that I bet against Brady in the last game. I wanted Aaron Rodgers to at least get that chance. So I was really rooting for Rodgers to have another opportunity as opposed to me rooting against Brady. And now I ran into this whole scenario of, because like to me this game is symbolic in like a large way, because you have the GOAT, the greatest of all time, playing. And if he gets 7 rings, he will literally have more rings than any single franchise. Think about that. I think the most right now is 6.
Tied.
The Steelers tied.
And the Patriots.
And the Patriots. So the Patriots and Steelers are tied with 6. He could have 7 rings and have more as a player than any single franchise. That's ridiculous. I think he's 100% of the reason why the Patriots have 6 rings.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. That's insane. Huh. Damn, I don't know, man. This one is super hard with me. Like I don't know, because I don't want to necessarily root against Mahomes, but at the same time I don't want to necessarily root against Brady, and both guys, it would be like, for me as a player, and I guess it's just kind of like the way that the perspective in life changed for me, was as a fan of the game, I would love to see Brady get number 7, literally get number 7, maybe get MVP, and then during it just say, you know what, I'm done, I'm retiring, and finish on top. Not because I want to see him out of the game, because I still think honestly this guy could play until he's 50. Like, his body is not breaking down. He could probably be a serviceable like mentor backup. I don't think he'd ever take a role like that even at 50. But I think he'd still be like a top 64 quarterback in like close to his 50s. He'd still be better than most backups in the league close to his 50s with the way that he's playing. If you need to bring him in for a quarter or two and wait for your next starter to get healthy or whatever the case may be, there would be no other way. But at the same time, just to see a player of that caliber finish on top, I would love that. You know, it wouldn't be like when Jordan retired and he came back like 2 times, and it wasn't the Jordan of old. Like, yeah, he was still Jordan, but it wasn't Jordan. I would love to see this man just go out on top, go become the highest paid analyst for CBS or Fox or ESPN or whoever's going to throw down the bucks on him, the way that they're probably going to throw the bucks at Peyton Manning when he decides to kind of stop doing what he's doing. And he's good at what he does. Don't get me wrong. I think Peyton Manning's great at what he does, which is kind of like that whole comic sports routine and shows that he has. I think he's an excellent host. I don't think that Brady has that same charisma to do stuff like that. But if you put him there, like GOAT's corner, like really, who's going to argue with this man? Like, It'd be like having a sage on TV, and he's gonna be so analytical. He understands the game better than no other person in that position. Nobody. I mean, the record speaks. So it's gonna be a high scoring game. Oh damn. So do I go for the GOAT and let him finish on top, or do I go for the young up and coming heir apparent and watch him go? You know what? Give me that torch because I'm gonna carry it to the end. And that's where my conflict is. I don't know what I want to see because both things mean different things to the game, but they're so symbolic. If Brady gets 7 and finishes on top and finishes, I mean he's gonna finish as the GOAT, but finishes on top and finishes in that way, man, that's like the perfect ending to a story. The most perfect ending to a story right there. I don't know if it'll end, but that's what I'm kind of seeing. But at the same time, imagine Mahomes getting his second on a back-to-back and beating the GOAT and being, you know what? I got this. Give me the torch. I'm going to carry this on, and you know what? I'll show you what's up. And maybe, Brady comes back and they try to make another run because, the Tampa Bay Bucks team as a whole is still fairly young. And they do have potential to kind of make another run for it next year with Brady there or not, as long as they can get a serviceable quarterback if Brady decides to actually leave. Damn, man. Oh my gosh.
You could probably predict like if one team's gonna win it at overtime and what the score will be.
No, this is not going to overtime.
No?
This game is going to be decided in 4 quarters. It's going to be decided in 4 quarters. None of these teams and these players, they don't play for overtime. They don't play for overtime, dude. If Bruce Arians thinks that they're gonna be close, and he's gonna tell Tom Brady like, "Hey, let's play for overtime, dude," Tom Brady will slap him. We'll just slap him. He just what overtime? Get out of here! Like the only way they're playing for overtime is if they're a touchdown down and you need a touchdown to go to overtime. That's the only way. But if it's within a field goal, none of these players, none of these teams are gonna be playing for overtime. They're gonna want to finish it right there on the spot because in overtime, it's a coin toss. I rather just take my shot during regulation than leave it to a 50-50 coin toss. Because honestly, both of these teams, if they get the ball, they can end the game with a touchdown. Easy. Why would you want to even risk that? That is, to me, that is out the table. Unless it happens in a more organic fashion, that to me is out the table. But it's like that sentiment that I'm having trouble with. It's that sentiment of like, who do I like? Because I like both players. I really do like both players. I've liked Brady since he beat the Rams. As a player because he beat the Rams. And I like Mahomes, man. He's just such for a young athlete to be the way that he is presented and is, and I guess just kind of like holds himself. I don't see any bad news about him in the press. I don't see, like, oh, Patrick Mahomes in trouble again, or Patrick Mahomes in this and that. Patrick Mahomes, like, you don't see no type of like Johnny Manziel type of attitude from this guy. Oh my
gosh.
And he's achieved way more than Johnny Manziel, but yet Johnny Manziel came into the league thinking whatever. You don't see no Juju Smith whatever, type stupid dancing and all that other stuff and just thinking about his brand when he hasn't accomplished a goddamn thing. No, he really like you don't see that from this guy, and like it's so hard for me to root against him. But how do I root against, how do I root against a youngin when like it's difficult. If this was honestly, I think it would have been hard either way because same thing with Aaron Rodgers. I would have loved to see Aaron Rodgers, and I'd probably be having the same thing. But if it was like Bills Bucks or Bills Packers, I'm not going for the Bills. This would have been the 5th time they lost a Super Bowl.
0-5.
0-5. Like there's no way. But you know what? I gotta take a win. So like, look, man, there's no ill will, no personal type of grievance. I legit as a football fan, I guess at this point maybe a football aficionado, well, maybe not because I don't really know every player and I don't really get all like frantic and all stalker like-ish with all these teams, and even my team I don't even know half the people I don't even I'm not a stan, like I don't get, like, I respect the people that play for the team that we support, the team that we support. I will always respect people that come in and literally put their bodies and potentially their livelihood on the line for our entertainment. I will always respect that. Players, for the most part, I don't have no grievance with unless you're just a punk player. Like even Ndamukong Suh, he's a punk, like straight, like he's a punk because he has literally like done a bunch of foul late hits on a bunch of quarterbacks, some of them leading to injury. He actually stomped on Aaron Rodgers' foot one time when he played at Detroit. He actually stomped on the back of his foot with cleats on while they were in it. Dude, you can split somebody's muscle that way. You can literally tear their muscle from their bone if you hit it the right way. And he did it without even thinking about it. Is he the same player now? You know what? I don't know, and I don't care. That's what you did, and that's what I'm judging you by. If you're not that player anymore, you know what? Good for you. But fact of the matter is that you did what you did, and you did it in public audience, so you did not care. So you're just, and it's not even like it's not like anything personal. Like it's not like he has drug problems and he has to fight through it, and like he has issues. He's just that type of player. He was a dirty player, and I have no respect for people like him. I don't care how you turn that. To me, you're always gonna be a piece of trash. Same thing with Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp was the same way. It's before your time. He played for the Bucks as well, and that's before your time. Like Warren Sapp was a talented player on the field. Pretty much unstoppable when that dude was on it. But, I mean, he was a dirty player. He'd hit people. And then, when he left the game, he just became, that mentality that he had on the field, he took off the field and he was just a trash person. So, like, I can't support somebody like that. But, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm 19 points down. I guess I got to vote different. Let's go number 7, Brady. No ill will.
Right.
My homies.
All right.
My homies, believe me. I even gave my nephew a nickname based on your last name. I call him Bobby Mahomie because he kind of had like that little thing for a while, like that little dude that you got going. So I called him Bobby Mahomie. I still call him Bobby Mahomie. And that's based off of like you. Like you're a young man who I appreciate being in the sport and being the way that you're being. Whether or not this ever gets heard by you, I just want you to know that this pick really had nothing to do with personal and it's all sentiment. And I'm also 19 points down against my kid, so I need to take a risk. I need to vote the other end. But if you win, if you and the Chiefs win, I would not be disappointed in that end result. I just want to see a good game. But this is the game. Outside of the game, I'm going to go with the Bucks.
All right.
Brady, get number 7. I would love for you to finish on top. I would love for you to get number 7 and really just kind of give a raspberry to Belichick, who for the longest time has seemed to be wanting to move away from you, and he finally does. And guess what, buddy? You were literally the missing puzzle piece to that man's success this whole time, and now he's going to have to find a way to replace you. And that's not going to be easy because the NFL is changing from the type of quarterback that Brady was and is. That was very good for pretty much a majority of his career. And we're seeing this influx of new mobile quarterbacks that have kind of started maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And now it's kind of becoming like a necessity for you, not necessarily to be a running quarterback, but to be a mobile quarterback. And we don't know if Belichick can actually coach anybody who's mobile, because the result with one being Cam Newton is no, he can't. And I don't want to put this all on Cam Newton because, to be honest, I mean, he can only perform as well as he's being coached, and who knows? Yeah. But I will go with the Bucks. Brady's number 7. I think it's gonna be super close. I think it's a 35.
All right.
35-30. It's a 5-point spread.
Oh. Can you get 30 points?
Yeah, you can get 30 points.
Oh, yeah.
You get 3 touchdowns with the extra points. That's 21. Then you get 3 field goals.
Oh, yeah.
And that's 30. And if anything, there's safeties and other stuff that you can take into account. Okay, so you have a 10-point spread, and I have a 5-point spread.
Yeah.
So the other things that I want to do is, because we do have the bonuses, and for anybody on the YouTube that's familiar or wants to know about the bonuses, we have these, the touchdowns and everything else, and then the bonuses, if the spread is guessed correctly, we get 50% more, which you did one time, and then I added new ones. Then we had the final game score is correctly, you get 100%. rounded up. So for the Super Bowl, I actually came up with newer ones. Where for the Super Bowl, if we predict the first score correctly, you don't have to predict the player. Just what is going to be the play. Is it going to be a rush? Is it going to be like a kick return? Or a special teams touchdown? A rush? A pass? A field goal? Or a safety? Would be the options that we have. So if you can guess what the first score is going to be, we'll get 50% of the score after it's been tallied. So for example, for your game, say against when you got the spread correctly, you got the 17 points. So it'd be 17 points, and then we'd take half of that, which would have been 8.5 rounded up. So it'd have been 9 points added to that, and then that would be your new total score. So that would be in case you were to get under the same circumstances. If you were to pick the first one, you would get those points, and then if you can select who the MVP is going to be, you'll get an additional ones after that first bonus has been picked. So that would mean that you would get 50 off of 26 there. So you would get 13 points on that. So it'd be, and I put the equation there. Basically, is your selection plus the bonuses that we get for that, plus 50% for first score, and then separate that 50% of the score. So it'd be this, and then this would basically go into that, and then this would be on top of that. So with that, and we got the spread, we got everything else. Do you want to make the first selection on how it's going to be scored?
On the first score?
Yeah, let me set this up too on this end here. First score, and then MVP. All right.
Okay. So, I think that the first score will go to the Buccaneers.
Okay.
And it will be a field goal.
Mm.
I feel like the Chiefs defense can hold them to a field goal.
Damn. Okay. Nathan. You said Bucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a field goal. Okay. And I guess here's what I'm gonna have that differentiating thing. And just to kind of show some love to my boy Patrick Mahomes. I honestly think the Chiefs are going to get the first one, and it's going to be a touchdown.
Rush, pass, or run?
That's where I debate. Because I know they're going to get close, and it's like it could be a quarterback rush because he is the type of quarterback that can run it in. He's done it before. But with the mention of Tyreek Hill, I think that's going to be what gets him. So I'm going to say it's going to be a pass TD. And that is going to be the first score for the Chiefs will be a pass TD. And it to me sets up the whole scenario of, can Brady do it again? Can Brady come back on this youngster? Can the Bucks kind of come up and win? So I think that it's going to be a pass from the Chiefs as the first one. MVP.
This is tough. I feel like win, lose, or draw, the MVP will be a Chief. And
that's very rarely happened. Very rarely has that happened when a losing team gets an MVP. I don't think it's ever happened in modern.
Once.
Yeah, and that player has to play pretty much out his mind to get that.
And that's what I think is going to happen. I feel like the MVP will be either Patrick Mahomes or Tyreek Hill.
You got to pick one. There's only one. It's the most valuable player.
Screw it. Going out on a limb. I'm up by 19. I'm going to take some chances. The MVP will be Tyreek Hill.
Ooh. Damn. He said Ty. All right. Cool. I'm going to put T Hill. T Hill?
T Hill.
You got him. All right. Cool. And then for me... See, I had the Bucks winning, and the Bucks win. I think Brady will get it. It's either going to be, to me, on that, I probably have the same type of feeling. It's either going to be Brady or Fournette is just going to have like a killer game.
Really? Over Gronk?
Gronk Gronk is not a bad player, but Gronk hasn't really been utilized. And like honestly, I don't think this is the team in which you could utilize somebody like him. Like I think you could utilize him for first. You can utilize him for like post plays. You can use him for pretty much a lot of things because he's a big, tall guy. But he's not a guy that you're relying like a George Kittle. Like he's not a George Kittle at this point in his career. He's not. Like he's not even close to that. He's not a Kelsey. Like he's not in that same league. He's not in that same league of tight end. If you were to tell me like which tight end I think would have a better game, like Kelsey to me is gonna have a way better game than Gronk. But Gronk can still play a very pivotal role. I think his is gonna be more about if you use him for momentum change, you use him for safety, use him for a first down, use him to get a couple yards on a first and long in case there's an offsides. You use him for positioning. Maybe if you're in the end zone, you use him in the red zone because he's just a big guy, kind of unstoppable to cover. But he's not going to get you... He'll get you 3 touchdowns, but he's not going to get you 100 yards. Like, he'll get you 3 touchdowns and, like, 45, 60 yards. You know, that's the type of player that I think he is at this point, which is still very important because I take those 3 yards and I take those 3 touchdowns and 60 yards anytime. He's not going to be MVP caliber to me. And if they wind up winning, well, Brady is Brady, and Brady's going to be Brady.
Yeah.
And... I guess we'll see. You know what? I'm going to commit to this Bucks play. And I'm going to say it's going to end Cinderella-like.
Tom Brady. 7th ring MVP.
7 ring MVP. Whatever that number is for him is... Whatever that number MVP is for him, that's what he's going to win. I think this will be the game where... He does that.
All right,
so I guess that's our picks. So you have the Chiefs winning 42-32, 10-point spread. You have the Bucks scoring the first field goal. And then you have Tyreek Hill being MVP. I have the Bucks winning 35-30 on the 5-point spread, where I think the Chiefs are going to get the first touchdown and Tom Brady's going to get MVP. That's funny that our first score is switched.
Yeah.
And with that is pretty much... You have anything else to say for football?
Nope.
Or anything else?
All right.
So I guess we'll touch on the other stuff because, I mean, the important things out of the way.
Yeah.
Since there are loose rumors of who the next Niners quarterback can possibly be, who would you like to see come in? Figuring that, so the rumors that are here that I've been hearing are possibilities: Kirk Cousins,
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers,
Okay.
Dak Prescott,
Okay.
and Sam Darnold. Apparently, he's really good.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have Rose in there that they actually signed again to this year. So most likely Mullins is going to be out.
Good riddance. I'm sorry. He's good, but he's not that good.
He's not a starter. He's not a starter.
He's not a starter.
And then I think Bethea as a third would be my choice. Honestly, I think that dude is, for quick passes whenever that he's come in on third or fourth quarter, he's really good. But again, he's not a starter. But if you ever need somebody, I think he's actually like a good third seat. I would rather take, honestly, if I had 3 spots, Mullins is not taking one of those 3 spots. I would take, as it is now, I would take Garoppolo. I would have Rosen as a backup, and I would have Bethea as a number 3. And those would be my top 3 with the current situation as it is. But it sounds like right now, like Garoppolo is not going to. And I honestly don't want to see him leave. I would love to see what he can do again if he could stay healthy. But that's my biggest issue is you can't play the game if you're injured all the time. And this game is a violent game where you're going to get injured all the time. So I would love to see him have a healthy season next year. But I don't. Right now, it's not looking like that's the case. So I guess we'll stick with those 4 names: Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold. Because what's his face was in the talking too, but he wound up getting traded to the Rams. Stafford.
Yes.
Which is gonna, and I think that's the big motivating fact behind trying to get a quarterback is that now in that division, you have Stafford, Murray, and Wilson. Those 3 have been able to stay on the field for the past 2-3 seasons. Garoppolo has only been on the field one of those 3 seasons. And I think that's the biggest issue, is that if Garoppolo gets hurt again and you have to go through a division, even with a healthy team, you have to go through the division against those 3 quarterbacks. Those 3 quarterbacks are dynamic.
Yeah.
So I think all the writings on the wall where he will not be here
Yeah.
next season. And I mean, what's his face loved him a lot too. Belichick loved him a lot. So it's possible that
He could go back to
he
New
can
England.
go back to New England. And
Honestly, a better choice than Cam Newton.
I think so too. It's just the coaching is not right for Cam Newton there, and it's just the schematics are not good for Cam Newton there.
Yeah. So of the 4, I would like to see Aaron Rodgers, no question.
Oh God,
But
dude, that'd be so great. But
if we're expanding past that, I would honestly wouldn't mind it if Deshaun Watson made it to Frisco.
Watson has also been a loose talk.
Yeah, I've heard things about him.
So to me, Watson is a writer because he had to stick with that team, and that team is a dumpster fire of an organization.
Thank goodness they fired Bill O'Brien.
But it's too little, too late, man. They've wasted so much prime time of J.J. Watts, that defense when it was top 5. They wasted the first 3 or 4 seasons that they had Watson in there. They got rid of Hopkins for no reason.
Gosh. And then that led to that play against the Bills.
Like to me that's too little, too late, man. Like honestly, at this point, just blow everything up there. Let all the good players go to teams they want to go and have a chance for compete, and you just start from scratch because there's no bandaging up the damage that has been caused to those players, to that team. Nothing. Just blow it all up and just rebuild for the next 5 or 6 years, and just get new regime there, get something else. That organization, honestly, no, I'm sorry, man. It's too little, too late. They should have fired that dude 3 seasons ago. But they didn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Rodgers would be my hope, because I mean, he wanted to be a Niner. He was there, but he came at the same time when there was all that Alex Smith hype. And Alex Smith went number 1. Aaron Rodgers fell to like number 26, which is the reason why the Packers got him. Oh my God, that'd be, dude, I would be so hyped.
That'd be a dream come true for him.
There would be a pop-up cast so quick if that was a thing. Oh my goodness, I would be so hyped. But outside of that, because to me, honestly, that seems like a unicorn dream. If I had to pick between Sam Darnold, Watson,
Cousins and Prescott, my top 2 would honestly be Prescott and Watson. Those are the 2 that I feel have that sense of dynamicy to their game that's needed. But I go back to, I don't know if Shanahan is the right coach for them, because he hasn't had a mobile quarterback, and he's so analytical and he's so robotic in his play calling, where he needs not necessarily a robot, but I think he needs a more traditional quarterback to have any type of success. Yeah.
So unless he decides to change his coaching scheme or the way that he coaches, I feel like maybe Kirk Cousins might be the best one for him, I would think. But in terms of what I would like to see as a fan, I would probably go Rodgers 1. Well, not probably go. I will go Rodgers 1. I would go Watson 2 and Prescott 3. And the only reason why I go Watson over Prescott in that situation is because of the injury. Like it changes the way I feel. It changes the way you approach the game. It changes something in the mentality of a player when something like that grotesque happens to you. And I don't think you're ever 100% when you suffer something like that. Because I mean, Alex Smith came back and he was, when he was on the field, he was great. But again, he seemed a little bit more, I don't want to say sensitive, but a little bit more fragile to taking the hits, especially on that knee, because he had a similar accident to that leg, and it was just as horrific.
Yeah.
And and Alex Smith came back, and he's a baller for sure, man.
Yeah.
That man loves football. Like, that man loves football, because he came back after almost 2 seasons of missing, and he was able to still play. But again, like, his body just couldn't take that abuse, and like, you have to kind of wonder, physically wise, can Dak Prescott absorb hits like that again, or will he even be in a position to take hits like that again? And if he comes in and takes a hit and he's injured, you're kind of in that same situation where you are right now with Jimmy Garoppolo, where you have talent, but the talent's going to be on the bench. So that's the only reason why I put Watson ahead of him, because this Watson has been dynamic. He's been a pretty good quarterback for that dumpster fire organization that is the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, Rodgers, Watson, and Prescott would be like where if they're not going to keep Garoppolo. If Garoppolo wants to stay, I have no problems with that. I just want him to kind of stay healthy. If that's, I don't know how I can will that into the universe, but I would love for him to stay healthy. But if they're going to move on, which it sounds like they are, Rodgers, Prescott, Watson, and then Prescott. And any one of those three quarterbacks, to me, I have no beef in taking. I'm not sold on Kirk Cousins. I'm not. Like, he's okay, but the thing is, he's had weapons in Minnesota. And
he had Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, for the first season he was there, and like he didn't like him. Like, well, not Cousins. I think Diggs didn't like what's his face, Cousins. So, to me, I just feel like it wouldn't be a fit chemistry wise. I think if Cousins went to New England, probably wouldn't be a bad fit. To be honest, if he replaced Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh, probably wouldn't be a bad fit. But at the same time, like, that organization is just cancer.
Ugh.
Where else would a quarterback like him fit? I mean, you can put him in the Bears. You can keep him in the same division. Put him in the Bears. I think he would fit in the Bears.
Yeah.
Now that it seems like the Lions might. Oh, actually, no, the Lions got Goff.
Oh.
Well, that was a trade.
Goff for Stafford.
Yeah, plus picks.
Oh yeah.
Like, literally, they traded picks to get Goff, and now they're trading picks to get rid of Goff, and that's unfair to me. I think that's unfortunate. I don't think all of Goff's problems were all of Goff's problems. I just think he kind of got short-ended in some of the instincts, but what do I know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird and finicky game because people thought that a lot of people would be out of the league already, and like what's his dude's name from the Titans? Tannehill. Everybody thought that he was done after the Dolphins, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's trash. Why would the Titans pick this guy?" And blah 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 blah. He makes it to the playoffs, and he has a good run his first season there, and they signed him. And so it's unknowing.
Yeah.
But anyways.
And while we're on the topic of this, let's go over the NFL honors.
Oh, you have the honors?
Yeah. So that happened today.
Let me just put this on really quick.
The GOAT.
Where are you, GOAT?
The GOAT.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right. So the honors happened today, where they honor like the best players of the season,
MVP
and MVP and stuff. So for this year, hang on, let me get to the things. Wait.
Do you not have the list?
I had it on another. Oh, I think I got it. I think I got it here. Okay, so. Boy.
We're on live.
I know.
We're like recording this right now. And now it's going to be quiet.
Got it. I got it.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So,
if you can leave MVP for last, that'd be great.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
Okay. So do they tell you what it stands for?
Huh?
Did they tell you what it stands for? Like on the thing, did they tell you what each award stands for?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Walter Payton Man of the Year goes to Russell Wilson.
Nice.
Wilson is involved, charities. He started his own foundation.
Read it.
Okay.
We have anything but time?
Wilson is involved in various charities that includes his own foundation. In 2020, Wilson and his wife Ciara partnered with Food Lifeline to donate over 1 million meals to those in need during the Corona pandemic.
Nice. Congratulations, Russell Wilson, on that. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, at least he got some honor, because
Yeah.
that man has been scuffed by so many others.
Yeah. Comeback Player of the Year. I don't think there's any surprise here. Alex Smith.
Of course. What a rider, what a G. Nothing
Yeah.
but respect. I mean, you come back from an injury like that where it literally almost cost him his life. Nothing but respect there. Congratulations, Alex Smith, on that award.
Yeah. All right. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Uh-huh.
Quarterback for the Chargers, Justin Herbert.
Nice. Congrats to him.
Ah.
Especially being the Chargers, because nobody really thought anything of you going to the Chargers. But, hey, congrats.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Washington defensive end Chase Young.
What an animal.
Yeah.
Dude's a beast. I told you when they drafted him, that dude was going to be disruptive. He was going to be a beast. That dude was an animal. Man. Congrats to him.
Yeah. Our defensive player of the year is Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick. Unfortunately, he got injured during the playoffs, but yeah, man, that dude is another monster. That engine never stops. It only slows down, and only because he got injured. But yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, congrats to Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Offensive player of the year goes to Titans running back Derrick Henry.
I mean, you can't argue with that.
It's
It's for the season. In the season, that dude was unstoppable. Unfortunately, they stopped him in the playoffs, but this is not a playoff thing. This is a season thing. That's a good one, man. Congratulations to King Henry.
Our coach of the year is Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski.
Stefanovich. It's an old commercial from for a plumbing service where the guy's name was Jack Steffen, but the announcer would be like, "Call your man Jack Stefanski, Steffen, Jack Steffen." No, congrats. I mean that's honestly from that organization from last year, even the previous 30, 40 years, where they just look like a dumpster fire organization. It seems something changed this year. Just the mentality of that team, the fighting of that team, just something. And if they can keep going in that path, and he was a big, I'm gonna assume that he was a big pivotal role in changing just the overall dynamic of that team's kind of attitude. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Our assistant coach of the year goes to Bills offensive coordinator Brian Daboll.
I don't know who he is. Yeah. I don't know his history, but you know what? Congratulations. I can see that. I mean, the Bills had a great run the last 2 years, and they were one game away from it. So
yeah,
congrats. Now, if it was for the defensive, like,
Our Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award goes to Panthers quarterback Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's a name that I haven't heard all season pretty much, but we don't follow the Panthers up too much. But I like Teddy Bridgewater, man. That's another guy that just kind of got the short end of a stick. I believe how he winded up is in Carolina was he was with the Vikings.
He was in the same draft class as Johnny Football.
Yeah, I mean, I always liked Bridgewater over Johnny Football. But I mean, that's another dude that got the short end of the stick as well, because he got injured during the Vikes, and it was on a dirty hit where his head literally just bounced off of the ground. I believe it was against the Saints where they messed him up. And yeah, I haven't heard much of him, but I've never had any beef with him. So hey, congratulations, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah. The Deacon Jones Award, I have no idea what that is, goes to Steelers offensive linebacker T.J. Watt.
Outside linebacker
T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watts.
Yeah.
He's J.J.'s brother.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I like the Watt brothers. I don't like the team. Again, I don't like the team he plays for, but I like the Watt brothers. So, I mean, he won an award. Congratulations, T.J. Watts.
The air and ground players of the year for best thrower and best runner.
Okay.
Goes to Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers and Titans running back Derrick Henry.
Legit. Congratulations, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Congratulations again, King Henry, number 2.
And the clutch performance play of the year goes to the Hail Murray. The Hail Murray.
Oh, the Hail Murray.
Between Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, oh my God. I remember when we saw that we had to go, we heard about it, like, we have to go see this play.
Yeah.
I can't believe they won. That was pretty baller. That was a pretty baller play. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I agree with that one. Congrats on that play.
And they also,
that award.
The Hall of Fame class.
Yeah, read them up.
All right, so offensive lineman Alan Faneca.
Okay.
Wide receiver Calvin Johnson.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Megatron got in there. Nice for him. Yeah. Good for him.
Defensive back John Lynch.
Okay, cool. He's the GM for the Niners now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Quarterback Peyton Manning.
Was this his first year eligibility? Because he's been off of the game for a while.
He's been out for 5 years.
I guess that's probably eligibility
Yeah.
then. Because I don't see how he doesn't get in first ballot. That's Peyton Manning. Okay, cool. Congrats, Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Where was it? Defensive back,
Defensive back.
Charles Woodson.
Oh, okay. Nice. A little bit long overdue. I thought he was really, really good when he played.
Yeah.
Cool. Congrats.
The senior inductee for the year was wide receiver Drew Pearson.
I don't know him.
Me neither.
But congrats.
Yeah. Contributor is Bill Nunn. Steelers scouter.
Name sounds kind of familiar, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, congrats. You won an award. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Coach. All right, second to last award. The coach inducted in the Hall of Fame was Tom Flores.
So, interesting fact about that, which I did not know. He is, I believe, the only Latino head coach in the history of the NFL to have won a Super Bowl and any type of things. And it took a while for him to get there. I don't want to turn this political because obviously, I mean, I'm Latino, you're Latino. You know, we come from Latino families.
Nah.
But yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think for because I started reading a little bit more about him and seeing. I mean, to be the only one, and you know, we talk about, I guess, equality and stuff like that. It comes when it comes. You fight for it when it comes. And congratulations, Tom Flores, as a Latino. Again, I didn't really know because I didn't grow up a Raiders fan, so I didn't really hear about you. And the whole family that I grew up with was more baseball and basketball than they were football. But I hadn't seen that. I guess it was a Coors Light commercial, the Bud Light commercial. Where, like, we got to get, you know, Flores into the thing. Looked him up and heard more about him. Congrats, and honestly, as a Latino man, I don't know how it feels for you, but as a Latino man, it just feels good to at least have representation in that type of level where you're going to be literally enshrined for basically immortality in the sport that I love and the sport that obviously that he loves. I'm going to assume that you love as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's honestly very, very touching to kind of see that. And even though I'm 38, there's still that sparkle of hope that at some point, maybe, who knows, you know, be like, hey, you want to come and just do scouting, or you want to just come and bullshit with us, or even if it came down like, hey, do you want to do 49ers radio or NFL radio or something? I would love it. I would love it because I just think Latinos are very, very underrepresented in the sport comparative to how much we actually watch the sport. You know, like if you look at the Raider fans, they're like 80% Latino. Maybe that's not a real number, but out here in SoCal, like literally you turn around and it's like Raider fans are usually Latinos, and that's pretty much the majority. So I'm going off of that number. I'm going off SoCal numbers. 80% of all Raider fans are Latinos, and to finally see some representation for that, it feels good. So congratulations, Tom Flores, on that. His name is Tom Flores, right? Yeah. I don't know. I'm bad with names. But congratulations. But yeah, I need just to say that because that really did feel good to. I actually saw the preview saying that he will be inducted this year. And it was like really, really like, wow, like, yes, you know, congrats on that and representing the raza and I'm excited, and that's why I'm babbling. It's very like exciting to see that and to hear that. So yeah, really good. Okay.
And then MVP.
Wait. MVP for the season, right?
Yeah.
That's the last award?
Uh-huh.
Since you already had it, I want to guess.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's between Derrick Henry and... I'm going to put three names. Derrick Henry, Mahomes, and Rodgers.
Of the three, who do you pick?
I know it shouldn't matter, but based on just playoff record, I would just take Henry off. It shouldn't matter, and it obviously with Lamar Jackson winning last year, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
To me personally, my pick would be Aaron Rodgers because I just think he had a lot less to work with. So to me, that would be MVP, but I don't think he got it. It's either going to be Mahomes or it's going to be Henry. I think Henry got it, but I would want Rodgers or Mahomes to get it. And based off of those two selections, I would say that Mahomes is MVP.
Well, you are incorrect.
Ah!
Aaron Rodgers got MVP.
Damn. Should have gone with my gut instinct. Damn it. Well, hey, congrats, Aaron Rodgers. I know it's not a Super Bowl ring, which is really what matters to you and your career, but you know what? I can't argue with that. I mean, honestly, it's almost Brady-esque kind of what he's done in Green Bay, where they haven't put any parts around him, and the one part, I mean, even this season they put was it Devontae Adams was his best receiver, and Devontae Adams did very, very well, but the only reason why he was able to accomplish half of it was because he had Devontae Adams there, and that was like the focus of the offense, so you can kind of scout around and do it. But they drafted, what is this dude's name? Jordan something? Jordan Love. For what? You don't need a quarterback right now. Like, you don't. And to be honest, like, I don't know anything about Jordan Love, but that's somebody you could have got off of waivers, or that's somebody you could have traded for when he slipped to the second or third round, because that was a territory this man was going. You wasted a first-round pick on him when you could have got help either on the offensive line, wide receivers, running back, even on the defensive line, so you can get the ball back to Aaron Rodgers at decent positions. He can do Aaron Rodgers things. So, I mean, it's been Brady-esque, unfortunately, without any other results, because the coaches that have been coaching Rodgers have been just, they all deserve a throw punch. Every single one of them deserves a fucking throw punch. Because they keep doing the same thing to this man. They don't get him any help because he is that good. Like, I don't care how good anybody is. Everybody needs help. And for him to win a Super Bowl, and this goes organizational too. For him to win a Super Bowl, and then you won one, great, fantastic, awesome. But then to never go again with going all in for 1 year or all in for 2 years and just spending a little money over the cap, or however it is that finances work out, to not be at the cap and to not get high players that could help this man out on the offense, just make a push for the Super Bowl. I don't care if you have a playoff team. Make a push for the Super Bowl. If you win a second ring, or you get 2 rings with him under your belt, and then he goes into like a spiral because you can't afford to really pay anybody else after you win a ring, cool. But to just get one where this man is young and then waste the last 10 seasons plus of this man because you didn't want to make another run at the Super Bowl, absolute trash. And I get this man the help, and that goes from the coaching staff, and that goes into the organization, the GMs, the presidents, the owners, all of these guys. You have done this man wrong. You have wasted the last 10 seasons of him, and he deserves better. So I hope he leaves. I hope he doesn't sign with Green Bay, and I hope he goes somewhere else. Like, I don't even care where he goes. Like, obviously, I want to see him come back home because he's a NorCal kid. I would love to see him come back home and hopefully win, because we have a team that can win, I believe. And you put Aaron Rodgers there, oh, man. Oh, can you imagine Rodgers and Kittle? Oh, ooh, with that running game that they have, oh my God, dude, it'd be game over, son. But
you know, considering everybody stays healthy.
But I think hopefully next season will be a little bit different. Hopefully, with the vaccines going out, that it's not as restrictive in the second half of the year as it's been for the last year. But going offside of that, like, yeah, if everybody stays healthy, you have Aaron Rodgers. I mean, even if you got Aaron Rodgers for 2 or 3 seasons, the one thing that I will give Shanahan and Lynch, that combination together, is they know how to scout talent. Because the only reason why that team finished 7-9 is because they scouted talent, and the talent they have scouted, oh my goodness, it has been so great on both sides of the ball. The only problem where they haven't been able to kind of scout that talent is on the secondary, because it's been kind of hit or miss. But linebackers have been great. Defensive line has been great. Offensive line has been serviceable. At worst, has been serviceable. At best, really, really good. Running backs, they had 5 players play running back this season, and all of them hit some sort of stride where they had a great game this season. Wide receivers is another area where it's kind of hit or miss, but I mean, Ayuk was one where I thought wasn't going to be. Ayuk had a great rookie season. He did. And he was very exciting to watch. You still have Bourne. You still have can't remember who else is on that squad. Sorry about people I forget, but I mean, the team is there.
I think I still have Sherman.
Sherman actually might be gone because he's expensive against the cap, so Sherman most likely will be leaving. But I mean, they have the talent there. They have the scouts, and they have the potential to scout more talent. You put Aaron Rodgers there. Oh my gosh, man! You put him there for the last 2-3 years of his career. You're gonna win at least one ring.
Yeah.
It's seeing that everybody stays healthy. So congrats, Aaron Rodgers, on that. Nothing but love, man. Props. You have been one of my favorite quarterbacks for like a long time. I can't really hate on you. It's been great. So yeah, congratulations on that, man. That's awesome, and that's great. So I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think we'll keep it like that. I mean, we got bets, but we can do that on the next podcast because we're gonna have to do filler for the next podcast because we spent a lot of time on the NFL.
Yeah.
And I kind of just want to get this out and do it because the longer we talk, the more time I don't have to render, and I'm hungry. I've only had oatmeal today.
I only had a sandwich today.
Damn. We should probably get some food.
We probably should.
I should probably render this and we should get some food.
Yeah.
But yeah, as always, I'm gonna end it with, I guess, most thoughts. Just it's gonna be the same as I always said, man. And I do mean this. Just take care of yourselves, people. Please. Actually, you know what? Let me bring this up back so now that we can come back up, so you can see my face in front of the goat. I want to be the goat. But yeah, like I say, get more in frame. You're out of frame. And that's my fault. It's a setup. We got to figure out a way. Anyways, just take care of yourselves, man. Just love one another, understand one another, respect one another. You don't have to necessarily like another, but just keep it respectful. If you don't like me for whatever reasons, I get it. Understood. If you want to tell us why you don't like me, you can always email us at moebanterpodcast@gmail.com. That's moebanterpodcast@gmail.com. That would be in the description down below. But let's just kind of get through this, man. Let's just take care of everybody. Let's take care of ourselves. Please just be considerate of others. Right now we're going through this weird once in a generation type thing, which seems to be happening, with COVID and everything. And I understand. Believe me, I understand wearing masks is infuriating. It's dumb. You can't do what you want to do. You have government tell you, and I understand all of that. I understand every single bit of that. But just understand that this disease, this virus, this sickness may not be deadly to a large majority of the population. But I implore you. I'm still young enough where if I get sick, I feel I can recover from this. But at the same time, my mom is not. Grandmas are not. So think about grandmas, think about grandpas, think about the little ones, think about people who are more sustained, and don't think that you're doing what you're doing for me, because in reality, like I said, we can probably recover off of this. Think about if you get me sick. We're staying home, but if I were the person that if you get me sick and then I was living with my mom who, is and later in her life, and I were to get her sick, that's the situation that I want you to think about. It's not me directly, not the young person like you directly. Think about your mom. Would you really want your mom to get COVID? Would you really want your dad to get COVID? Would you really want anybody older in your family to get COVID? We've already had deaths in the extended part of this family due to COVID. And, going on Twitter, I have mutuals who have lost people due to COVID. And it's not a fake virus. It's not scare tactics. It's not anything else. Europe had to already close. Again, due to the new strain that they have, you're hearing, parts of Asia closing down again. You're hearing Europe is closing down again to try to prevent what happened in the beginning of last year when they didn't lock down in time. Just be safe. Just wear a mask. Just wear a mask. Have some hand sanitizer. Just be courteous of the potential of what this could mean to somebody's older family members. And that's the part that we need to think about. It's not necessarily the other person like me and you who are 40 and under. It's the people who are 50 and over who are highly susceptible. And just be courteous, man. We take care of each other. Believe me, the planet just becomes a much better place. At least for just, if you want to call it 5 minutes in this lifespan, it becomes that. And that's all I can really do. That's all I can really say. I just ask you to kind of take care of each other and be respectful of each other, especially during this time when it's already so difficult with a lot of people having to stay inside and not being able to go out, and just trying to take every cautious step that they can take, and to see it wiped out off somebody's selfish act or need to not want to follow the rules. It's very infuriating, and again, I get it and I understand it, but at the same time I don't like it. because of just the uncompassionate stance that it seems that it takes. You know what I'm saying? It's not, and we've talked about it before. Just outside of that, just kind of keep it civil, keep it straight. We all good. Sooner or later, we'll be right back out there again, living life like normal. And this would just seem like a glimpse and a little flicker in time of our lifespans. And for those who haven't lost anybody, for those who do, I mean, unfortunate, you know, our thoughts go out with you, and good vibes go out with you, and hope that, you know, that you guys can recover from that type of situation. All right. Other than that, thank you, my boy.
Yeah.
As always, it's always fun to do this with you, and we'll be back. And this was episode number 20 of the Mo Banter podcast, and as per usual. And again, if you ever want to send us music, I'm down. Just give me permission or send me, hey, just honestly, just tell me where I can find your music. And as long as it's not tied to some major label, because if that's the case, I'm going to need to get permissions written up, and it becomes a big messy thing. But as per usual, we have my cousin's single, Lost in a Cup, that will be playing us out. You can find him on the YouTube Music, Spotify, all the things. Let me take me out of here. Let's get this out so they can see behind my big dome.
That's not. There we go.
This one here. So you can find him on the YouTube here, Lost in My Cups. Again, you could follow my friend Brissia Jiménez at B-Doodles on Twitter. She is the creator of Lil'zzz. That is LIL_ZZS. You can follow them on Twitter at Lil'zzz. You can find them on Threadless at Lil'zzz. You can find them on Instagram at Lil'zzz, on the Redbubble at Lil'zzz. She does commissions. She does work. A lot of the stuff is product that she does that goes on shirts, on water bottles and whatnot, but you can hit her up directly at B-Doodles. Again, she does commissions if you want her. She's a very talented artist. If you want to throw some business in her way, or just buy some shirt, buy some merch, it's all appreciated. Nephew out here with his friend starting off his own brand end of 2020 into this WorldZ-Co.shop. WorldZ Co is their brand. Again, right now it looks like the bucket hats are back in stock. They're $20. We got the caps in stock for $20. Got shirts for $22. We got hoodies for $34. And Brandon, you know what's up. Hook us up. No, I'm playing. You can find them on the Twitter as well at WorldZ Co. I'm choking on stuff. And that's at the WORLDZ_co. And then you can also find them on the Instagram. You guys need some more posts. And that's pretty much it. So until next time, this has been Mo.
And Nathan.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Moving on in slow-mo, happy in a boat, rather be lost with you. I try to do it solo, do the go-go, do it lost with you.
Yeah, I do it with you. When I lose the doors, pour Richard. Yeah, they don't know the situation. Only pages in the bigger picture pours from the picture or pours of the liquor, yeah. Feels like a Salvador and a killer, yeah. It helps shut the doors and it seals them up. Hope for some more when I fill my cup. I hope that my hope finds hope. And my vital signs on idle. Cause if I don't find hope, I know Bible, there's no time. Moment's final. If I don't find hope, that's no sad, those feelings ice cold.
Moving on in slow-mo, happy in a boat, or rather be lost with you. Yeah. They try to do it solo, do the go-go, and do it lost with you. Getting lost in my cup, yeah. Getting lost in my cup.
We out, you chasing death instead of commas. What example are we setting for our daughters? Think of the cadets with Gianna and Black Mamba at the bottom. Keep your head above the water. I don't wanna do this, but I gotta face the horror, death before dishonor. Designer's destiny, fuck the product, I'm a father. It's more than just my problem. Maybe thought to blame the way it was brought up. Getting caught up, expectations of my father. Try to mock up the greatness in Nirvana. Instead of shocking and a spinner to control like a shot up helicopter. Hurting but I'm not hurt. Rather have this problem than a doctor. Pushing down the pills, they kill me softly like Lauryn Hill in concert. Tell this bitch called life isn't worth it, and I don't even want her.
Moving on in slow-mo, hopping in a photo, rather be lost with you. Yeah. You try to do it solo, do what the go-go, do it lost with you. You lost in my cup, yeah.